one of the top experts in the world on sales.
King of collaboration.
He's on the cutting edge, and what he does works.
Jim Padilla.
CEO of Gain the Edge.
He is the leader when it comes to sales and conversions.
A sales and business coach to some of the biggest names in the country.
Jim Padilla is known as the go-to guy for all things sales.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Jim Padilla here with Gain the Edge, and welcome to the Make More Sales podcast. And thank you so much for being part of our world where everything here is all things sales. It's about helping you make more sales without getting better at selling, without you having to be a master sales guru, without you having to memorize 10,000 scripts and master everybody else's world, right? There's a million ways to make sales, but there's only one way for you to do it ideally, and that's what we specialize in. How do you do it the way you're supposed to so that your people can find you, know what to expect when they find you, understand what's going to happen when they do. And so you have the right conversations with the right people at the right time about the right things. Please let us know where you're listening. If you're in the Facebook group live here, please let us know that. Let us know if you're listening live or on the recording. Make sure that you hit the like or the love button and let us know how we're impacting you. If you're listening on iTunes or anywhere else on the podcast, please rate, review, subscribe. Let us know that you are here. Let us know what you're taking away from this and what we can do to help make this better. We always want to be able to serve you. That's what it's about. Without you, there is no this. So we want to make sure that we can serve you powerfully and very well. So what I really want to talk about today, there's so much stuff going on, and I don't want this to be about this particular moment of time. At the time this podcast is being recorded, we are literally a week away from our live event, or actually 3 days, correction, and about 2 weeks away from a pretty crazy, highly contentious election here in America. And even though it's an American election, it seems to have a lot of involvement from a lot of people and a lot of people watching with very interested eyes. And so it's impacting a lot of people. And I want to make sure that everybody understands a simple concept here, that what happens in Washington doesn't have to impact what happens in your business or in your life, and with your family and with your clients and with your marketplace. But you do have to be acutely aware that it is impacting the environment for people who are making decisions. And so you have to make sure that you're maintaining some sort of balance, as at least some awareness in the social, financial, economical, political landscape, so that as things are happening in the world, they are impacting your clients. Right? Do you think about that? I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment. Is that something you think about as you are making your business decisions, as you are preparing to talk to people, whether it's on a podcast, whether it's in a one-on-one conversation, speaking from stage? Do you take the environment into consideration, and to what degree, right? Because I know plenty of people who just say, no, I'm not even going to address it. It's not the problem. Let them deal with that outside. And I can see that side of it, but I think that's risky, because while it might not be affecting you and your business, I know many colleagues and friends who literally ignore everything because they just feel like, I don't want that trash in my head. And I'm all down for that. My concern is if you totally ignore it, then you're literally showing up kind of tone deaf to the people that you're serving, because it's in their world. It's in their lives. It's in their community and the people they serve, whether it's at their jobs, at their church, at their school, at their neighborhood. So it is absolutely a part of their decision-making process. And what are we doing in the sales game but helping people make great decisions? So you have to be very mindful of that reality. All right, so there's just a couple of key things I wanted to hit on here with this. There's a quote that comes to mind, and it is something that we're actually going to be unpacking a little bit at our event coming up. And it's the quote is simply, it's about hard times, right? Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. And good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Now, I'm not getting into the political diversity of the words, etc. Men meaning man, mankind, humankind, whatever. Fill in whatever pronouns you need to. I don't care about that. I'm talking about you, about people as leaders, as humans. the harder, the tougher the times are, the more strength we have to be able to overcome, right? And then what happens? It's cyclical. This is like the cycles of societies, right? The World War II generation, many times these people who fought into those early wars were considered, referred to as the greatest generation, right? And a lot of it's because they had to go fight. They had to go fight for our freedom and for our nation, and they were fighting through what led to become our biggest civil rights battles. And when men went off to war, the women took over in the factories and the production, et cetera. So like everybody had to survive this, right? And prior to that, there was literally massive depression and financial devastation, and people had to overcome. So they knew how to understand and live through adversity, right? They had to be able to deal with things. They had to be able to strife and challenge and struggle and basically, there weren't excuses. That the kind of problems that we have to deal with at times in our life are so inconsequential that we make a big deal. But it's all relative, right? If you haven't had real struggle and strife in our lives, then any struggle becomes a big struggle. But the most important thing is just really understanding those cycles so that if you're aware of them, you can maximize how you navigate through them. Right. So if hard times make strong men because they have to overcome, they have to survive, they have to realize, well, guess what? That didn't kill me. I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm going to the next level. I'm going to do what I need to do to lead and serve people. And then strong men create good times. You show up as the best version of yourself because you've been optimized, you've been refined by the fire, you've been put through the purification process, and you've been chiseled away. All the rough edges get you to a place where you are constantly honed in as a fine-tuned machine. Right. But then what happens, right? You see this in families often, right? You have we have a family who comes up where there was no generational wealth. Somebody creates wealth for the first time. And then typically it takes 3 generations before it's gone because you appreciate it. The family underneath you who saw the realities transform, going from poverty to more, they appreciate it a little bit less because they didn't have to earn it and go through it and deal with it, but they saw it happen. But then by the time you get to the 3rd generation, they were so far removed from the struggle, all they knew was the success. And so by default, we go, well, I grew up in a very, very challenging environment and I do not want that for my children, right? So I got refined by the fire in a big way. Life just completely chiseled me. And I didn't want that for my kids. So we made sure we took a lot of that out of the process while still trying to be as creative as we could to make sure they had their own adversity and challenges. Right. And then, theoretically, by the time they get through to their grandkids, they're just growing up privileged and with a lot in their coffers. Right. So they don't have that same level of awareness of the growth and the challenge that had to be overcome. And then that's typically when that generation gets a little bit more loose with the money, not as appreciative, possibly, et cetera. Right. So it's just, why is it relevant to this conversation? And mostly because I want to help make sure that you're seeing that in our culture, in our business. Like those generations typically take years. But right now, as fast as life is moving, as fast as the world is moving, as fast as the internet and social media is moving, stuff that used to take 10 years of living, we're experiencing life cycles and seasons of change in months. Because stuff is moving so fast, people are forgetting things and focusing on today's problem, today's focus, today's fears. And the ability to grow your business is more incredibly rich in a collapsed time frame environment now than it ever has been. Things that used to take 10 years and $100,000 can now take you a week and $99 to sign up with the right technology platform. And all of a sudden you've got a website, you've got a CRM, you've got a backend, you've got things that never were even possible like that. And so, but sometimes our brain can't even keep up. So we have to be constantly aware of what's going on right in the environment so that we know how to navigate and message and stay in front of the right people and make sure we know that our audience is going to have certain challenges navigating some of these landscapes, and they're going to have a unique journey that your ideal client may have a unique journey, something a little different than my ideal client would be. You are our ideal client. We want to help make sure you know how to message what you're doing, make sure you know how to have confidence in the sales process, know how to lead, deliver, how to inspire people with confidence, certainty, and clarity so that they know how to show up and pay attention to what you're saying to them, because what you're saying matters and has great relevance and value to them, right? So what is it that you need to be able to communicate and convey in such a time as this so that you don't fall prey to that cycle of hard men make good times, right? Or excuse me, hard times make good men, and strong men create good times, and good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, right? That's what we're dealing with. You know, I'm not going to get all into, there's a lot of things I can say about what I think about the way a lot of people are responding in the marketplace to all the political dilemma and the things that are going on, but you just have to show up strong and make sure people know what you think, what you believe, what you feel, how you're going to help them, what you can do for them, why they need to come here. Your call to action needs to be stronger than it ever has been. Your invitation has to be more clear and concise and strong as it has ever been, so that people, oh, yeah, that sounds similar to this one, but I know that's resonating with me. I need this, right? What you don't want is for them to go, well, this sounds like that one, and that sounds like this one, and they all sound the same, and they're all offering this, but why is this different? If that's happening, you're lost. You've already lost. Right? You have to take the guesswork out of it for them and let them know, I got you. If you want to make more sales and you're not interested in becoming a sales master, sales guru, this is the only place you need to be, because this is the game we play. We have mastered this landscape, right? And this is where you need to be. If that's not resonating with you, then that's cool. Right? Go find somebody who is. And we just repeat this over and over and over. And we're very, very clear about what we do. We're very good at what we do. We're best in class at what we do when it comes to scaling people and moving people forward in their sales game, and putting them in a position to make lots of sales, maxing out a sales without having to become a sales master, without going through all the painstaking process of mastering all the scripts and processes that are out there, right? And this is right now, this is not about a how. You shouldn't be sitting there asking yourself, how do we do it? Should be sitting there asking yourself, can I believe this guy? If I love what he's saying and they're living that same life right now, I need to pay attention. And you're here because you're looking for it. You're here because something we said brought you here. So it's time to trust your instincts that brought you and keep moving you forward. And jump in, like to our invitation here would be to our Make More Sales event, but more importantly, you stay and connected in our world. So you keep showing up and getting what you need. Cyndi, say hello.
You drive me crazy when you do that. He goes
Just
on
be
and
ready.
on, and he's like, what do you got?
Just be ready. Got to show up. What do they say?
Ready.
Got to stay ready. Don't get ready.
I'm ready. Yeah. Again, you either like us or you don't. You either, want to be a part of what we do or you don't. And I guess the message that I hear from you right now is, it has to matter. It has to matter. And that's what I feel, we are able to help business owners realize for themselves, is that what they do matters. And they come to us when they are so sick and tired of the revenue roller coaster, and they don't want any more modules, and they don't want another program per se. They just want results. They don't need to know how to be a better coach. They need to know how to sell so they can coach more people and make a difference in the world. And that's when people, are really attracted to the way we work through sales conversations with them. Is we help them determine and embody and believe 110% that what they do matters. And what's at stake if the people that they're talking to don't choose to move forward with them or don't choose to take actions.
You have to be at a place where you're taking control of the situation. And this is, I'll just put it out there, man. One of my biggest challenges and pet peeves with the whole coaching industry, everybody is so focused on this high stakes of nobility. I don't push and I don't pressure, and I'm always going to give somebody the choice and the freedom to say no. And it's not my job to make decisions for them. No, it isn't. But it damn sure is your job to make sure their decision is clear and that their decision is right and true. And if you have to be able to shake the tree a little bit to get them to pay attention differently, then that is your job. Dare say that is your obligation, your duty, and your responsibility. You need to master the ability to be able to speak the unapologetic truth into people and be so crystal clear about the problems you solve. And why? That you can communicate them. Somebody, I should be able to wake you up at 2 a.m. from a sound sleep and say, what is the problem you solve for people and why should they matter? And you should be able to wake up and say, I help people make more sales without having to be a sales expert. I help make sure that people can win in sales, chasing their dreams instead of having to chase clients, because we know how to make this happen, right? Whatever your proposition is, what is it that you do? And this is not an elevator pitch. This is not your unique selling proposition. This is about you being the expert of the problem that you solve and wearing it so uniquely and so powerfully that it just falls off of you everywhere you go. And when you show up in a room, people go, wow, I got to talk to you. What is it that you're doing? I need to know what you're doing. I need to know how you solve, because you speak to the problem that you solve. You don't try to transfer your message so it matches every room. You don't try to respond to everybody's call to action. I need an expert about this. I need an expert about that. And you're trying to be you want to make sure you don't miss out on anything, that you start responding to everybody's everything. And then guess what? Nobody knows what the hell you do or why you do it. So nobody calls on you and nobody refers you and nobody introduces you. But then you're one of those people that every time you get in front of somebody, they go, holy crap, you're amazing. But they didn't know that until they got in front of you. And you're robbing people that opportunity because of how you're showing up in the marketplace, because of the messaging, because of the languaging, because you refuse to own your level, your lane, your 1 inch wide, mile deep lane of expertise. Because you run the risk of speaking boldly to somebody who may choose to say, well, based on that, I might not want to work with you. Right? That's okay. You have to be calling that out. You have to be so clear about your positioning that you know how to talk about it so well that everybody else can talk about it. So the truth of the matter is, the things that the lane, because you might be cutting out some people, the reality is you're adding more. The exclusivity, the saying you have to be this tall to ride the ride in my world. And if they're not that tall, it's okay. But everybody else knows they have to be that tall. So other people say, oh, you know what? You fit that program. You need to go talk to Jim and Cyndi. Right? I have way more of that happening on my calendar and in our world than the people who come through our funnels, because of the clarity of our positioning and what we do. And the funnels and the marketing, that stuff helps because it uses the same concepts, right? But I want to be able to refer you. I want to be able to say, you are so good at what you do. You know how to handle your business. You know how to solve people's problems. You know how to speak so clearly about the problems that you solve that when people show up, they say, yes, how do I work with you? I want to do this. Because if I send you people, you damn well better be able to convert them, because I want you to serve them. I'm not sending them to you to have a cup of coffee. I'm sending them to you so you can solve their problem and change their life, which means you got to be really good at helping them get over that hump to make a powerful decision in the moment, whatever that takes.
So again, I think it goes back to what's important to you. Like watching Jam, like it matters. This matters. I just got off a phone with our mentor, and we were already talking about 20 and 21 and 22 and 23 and all the places we want to go. And, I am blessed. We are blessed to have a really innate, a prolific ability to generate great streams of cash flow and revenue really whenever we want. But that's not why we're on the planet. That's not what's most important to us. That's not what matters. What matters is our mission and our purpose and why we're here. And our purpose is to support thousands of business owners to be so profoundly confident and certain about what you do that it's revenue at ease, right? It's you living the dreams. It's about sales people being the biggest asset to one's company, not an expense. It's about serving underprivileged youth. It's about prison ministries. It's about leaving a legacy for our grandchildren. This is the why. This is what matters. This is why we're willing to get on Facebook Live and cry and scream and look fanatical and sound crazy. Totally. Because it matters.
And that's the big piece of this. Like We just finished up an event for a client that was very successful, you know, and a multi-six-figure event in 3 days. Do you want those opportunities? Do you want that to happen for you? Do you think you have to be some huge personality in the industry that be able to capture that type of effect? No, you don't. Right. And we were having conversations backstage yesterday, day before, about I'm dumbfounded so many times because as entrepreneurs, we go into networking opportunities or we come into a room like this or an environment like this, and we're so concerned about making sure everybody sees us in a certain way. And the moment you're trying to be a way, a certain thing, I'm going to show up like this so they see that, you've already lost. Again, the most enrolling thing you will ever do, write this down. The most enrolling thing you will ever do is be yourself. People will buy you. The most high optimized, best version of the real you is what you need to be focusing on being all the time. I don't give a crap about your sound bites. I don't give a crap about your catchy slogans. No, neither do they. Your product, your program, nobody cares, and it doesn't matter. You need to be able to speak to the people that you serve. If you're showing up here and you're even mildly resonating that I'm trying to show up in a way so that people around me don't think I have a broken business. Guess what? If it's broken, you better claim it fast and early so people can help you. You want to be able to master this, show up and say, look, I have not got this sales thing figured out. We have one of our people on our sales team was speaking to somebody the other day, and in her questionnaire, oh, I don't need to worry about making sales. I do well. And I'm, you know, my goal is 10K a month. I'm only making 5K a month or something in that. Well, then you're not there. That's the whole freaking point. Stop letting us think you're perfect. It's like showing up to the doctor's office with your arm hanging off and the doctor goes, does this hurt? No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just going to hold it like this for a while. I'm okay. You just give me some pain medicine, but your arm's hanging off there. Would you like us to fix it? Oh, no. I don't want anybody to know that my arm's broken, but everybody can see that your arm's broken. Nope, I'm good. That's how ridiculous most of you sound. Get up here, get verbal, get vocal. If your calendar is literally not full right now, look, I want you right now, open up your calendar and look and say, what's there? Do you have at minimum one appointment a day of people who were put there by somebody else, of somebody who is showing up to buy from you? And you have to have a conversation to see if this is a match or a fit. Or are you just hopeful that this was a lead from someplace you got somewhere because you had some opt-in that was hanging out there that may or may not be the right lead, may or may not have been the right offer. You haven't done anything to make sure that they're primed and prepared for this conversation in a powerful way. And that the people you talked to last week, you're just hoping you follow up with them. You're hoping you stay in their world because you don't have a primed and powerful follow-up process that keeps you relevant and valuable in their world over time, that keeps you clearly positioned as the expert of their problem. So, and tells with them the ultimate truth of why they need to solve this problem or their damages that are going to be happening in their life and in their business. If you're not already doing all of that, then you need to just put all the personal pride away. There's nobody here judging you. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help you. And we can't help you unless we know exactly what's going on with you. Right? And if you're attracted to wanting to have a lifestyle of choice, living at choice, regardless of the economy, regardless of who wins in Washington, regardless of what's going on in your world and in your neighborhood, you show up as the leader, as the beacon of hope, as the person who's driving inspiration, confidence, clarity, and certainty to the people around you. They don't even need to know what you do. The what is irrelevant. The outcome is all that matters. And they need to know that you've got the outcome that they need, and they need to follow you, get into your world to make it happen. That is what we do. That is our life. That is our journey. We're not teaching anything that we don't do, anything that we don't know. We're not here teaching anybody else's systems and processes. We're literally showing you how to do exactly what we do in our business so you can have that same reality. Jump on board. What's holding you back? So
yeah. And for me, when I think about, you know, the clients that are working with us now and the ones that are achieving success, again, they are, you know, highly skilled, gifted, brilliant, a solid level of success, but there's just this wobbleness around. That's the one thing they cannot count on month after month is the predictable increasing revenue. It's the sales. Everything else they feel really confident in. But if that's not there, then there's that wobbleness. And that's where, again, I'm going to go back to really deep roots. That's what I just got coached on by my mentor. We are building a business that has deep, deep roots, so that no matter what happens in the economy or in the future, that I can withstand. This business is going to be here. And it's the same thing if you chunk it down into a sales conversation. You have to have those deep, deep roots and be willing to withstand the shaking of the tree and the winds and the droughts and the floods and all of that, but knowing that what you do is critical to the people you serve, and you're willing to be that deep rooted tree no matter what happens around you. And when people say next week, call me back next week, you dig those roots deeper and you say no, because next week is where sales go to die.
Amen.
That is from Jeremy DeMerchant, former team member with us, amazing person. Yeah. So if your roots are so deep and someone says, okay, yeah, call me back next week, I'm going to go do XYZ. Deeper, deeper, deeper. And then you say, no. What have I not shared with you to make you make a clear choice right now? Because next week is not a clear choice. It gives you a false sense of hope that it's going to happen. My mentor just schooled me. We do not run a business on hope and prayers. And yes, we pray. We pray every day, but we also have solid strategy, and we're deeply rooted in sales processes, in systems, and in what our purpose is on this planet. And that is attractive. That is what gives you the confidence and the certainty to stand deeply rooted in conversations that go sideways, and have no shame and no blame, and just dig deeper and move through it.
Yep.
That's how we work with clients. That is a beautiful thing to witness.
All day, every day. And it's not about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it the way you do it. And it's about people reading and diving into you and your expertise and being attracted to it exactly as you are. And all we do, you want to get people to say, yeah, I'm in. I love what he's saying. I love what she's saying. I want to do that. I want what she's offering. I want where she's taking me. I'm not interested in your program. Don't ever, and people aren't interested in your program. They're interested in the outcome. They're interested in the journey, the destination, and where we're going. So you need to be consistently showing them that it is possible, and the keeping that dynamic tension in the reality of what's there. And we can't even overstate how simple it is to be able to do that when you're crystal clear and you have all of the other moves that we talk about to make more sales without getting better at selling. You can spend all of your time trying to master the sales process, which, let's just face it, you haven't mastered it yet. So don't assume that you're ever going to. Or you can spend all of your time structuring your environment in such a way that people show up wanting to buy from you. It is that simple. If that's not your reality right now, jump in, get into our Make More Sales live event. We're going to help you with that. We're going to dive through that with you in 3 days, fully immersed, get our systems, our whole team, our brain on your business, be able to help you walk away with your Make More Sales without getting better at selling playbook. And it'll change the game for you, for how you show up, for how people find you, for how people engage you. So everybody shows up knowing what to expect when they do find you. So you can have the right conversations with the right people at the right time about the right things and start winning customers instead of chasing clients. We want you to start focusing on chasing your dreams so you can fulfill them and move from there. So just jump in. We're here. We'd love to serve you. We'd love the opportunity. Reach out. There'll be a link in here. Raise your hand. Say, I want more information. We'll get you squared away. Simple. $147 or $240 for a regular general admission ticket. $247 for VIP. You're going to get your first ROI back in the first hour. This is nothing but value delivered to you. We're going to make sure you actually know how to put this together and how to start saying the things that you need to say, and it's all inside of you. We're not going to tell you anything what to say. We're just going to pull out of you what's already existing inside of there so that you become the exact leader that people need to follow to make a great decision in their own best interest, and then sales abound. And then you can get about the business of growing your business and serving your marketplace and living out your purpose.
Yeah, and the fun's going to start tonight, this afternoon. We have our opening party. So for those that are already enrolled, the party starts today. So you know where to find us. The link is everywhere. We'll post it below again. 3 days to really secure your future. And I know there's so much going on. It's 3 days too to pull you out of the fray of what's happening in this nation and in this world and focus. Again, I took 2 full days, less than a week before our event, and immersed myself with our mentor in a mastermind. And it's going to 10x what happens these next 5 days, let alone what happens the next 5 years. So join us, and we'll see you today at 3:30 on the opening party.
Peace out. Go make more sales.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Make More Sales podcast. If you like what you're hearing, you'll definitely want to check out our Make More Sales Facebook group, where you'll find more amazing content, including free sales training and live content happening every single week. So make sure to follow the link below to join. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show, and share it with your friends. That way, more people can learn how to make more sales without getting better at selling. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.